folks and viewers, subscribers, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again for the third review of this week. We are in Eastern Europe. We're in the state of Moldova, and this is Chisinau International Airport, Lima Uniform Kilo Kilo. This is a payware scenery by MXI DESIGN, and you're looking at the release version 1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. It downloads 2.71 gig and it installs at 5.25 gig, so it's fairly substantial. It's currently available from Orbix. The price, €12.95, which equates to roughly $14.06 US, or £11.08 UK. Those prices are estimates taken from the Australian dollar, and they do not include tax or VAT, which of course you must add, and which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase. So let's have a look at the key features of this scenery. So the key features: accurately modelled terminal and airport buildings, up-to-date ground polygons and markings, a basic terminal interior model for depth, custom parking positions matching real life, custom surrounding models, PBR implemented for all models, custom CGL aerial imagery, custom taxiway signs, 3D passengers and animated flags. So there you are. I mean, it's quite a substantial scenery as can be seen by the file size when you install it, and quite a bit of work's been done here. So let's go on and talk a bit of history. So history: Chisinau International Airport, Lima Uniform Kilo Kilo, is the state of Moldova's main international airport. It is owned and operated by the Chisinau International Airport Company. The airport is located 8.1 miles or 13 kilometers southeast of the center of Chisinau, the country's capital. It's served at headquarters for Air Moldova, the country's national airline. In January 2024, the IATA code KIV, derived from Chisinau, the former Russian English name of the city, was changed to RMO, Republika Moldova, or Republic of Moldova in Romanian. The first scheduled flights to Chisinau started in June 1926 on the Bucharest-Galați-Chisinau route and later on the Iasi route. The flights were operated by CFRNA, I'll try and get this right for you, Compagnie Franco-Romane de Navigation Aérienne, and later, which became LARES, L-A-R-E-S, Lineal Aerian Romani Exploatati di Stat. I probably didn't say that correctly, but I'll put them up for you to see. A commemorative plaque describing the first flight to Chisinau was placed on the airport. The main terminal was built in the 1970s with a capacity for 1.2 million passengers per year. In May 1995, Chisinau Airport was awarded the status of an international airport. In 2002, following works by the Turkish company Afgan Holding, the airport was modernised. The project involved the construction of 32,000 square foot, or 3,000 square metres, of curtain walls, 34,000 square foot, or 3,200 square metres, composite panels, 131,160 square foot, or 12,185 square metres, of asphalt road, a treatment plant, complete mechanical heating, ventilation and electrical systems, along with X-ray security equipment, luggage handling, a master clock and flight information systems. The airport closed temporarily on the 24th of February 2022 as Moldavian airspace was closed in the wake of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. On 22nd of March 2022, the Civil Aviation Authority of Moldova partially reopened the country's airspace, which led to the resumption of operations at the airport. In March 2023, Wizz Air suspended flights to and from Moldova due to concerns over airspace safety. After this, Igor Grosu, the president of the Moldavian parliament, met with representatives of Ryanair to convince the company to operate flights into and out of the airport in order to replace Wizz Air as its main low-cost airline. Nowadays, some 16 airlines operate into and out of Chisinau on a seasonal or regular basis. So there you go, this place has been around for a little while. It's one of it is the main airport of the country. Being close to Ukraine, it's had to go through a few bits and pieces like that country has. But this scenery, from what I can see at the moment, accurately reflects what we have today. And it looks pretty impressive, to be honest. So let's get down and look at the runway system here. So runways, as you can see, I've changed the lighting. We're at very early morning so that the sun is behind us while we look at this situation here. So Chisinau Airport operates 2 runways. Runway 2608, and we're looking down the throat of it now, is the longest, measuring 11,778 feet or 3,590 meters. The shorter runway 2709 measures 7,818 feet or 2,383 meters. Both runways are constructed from concrete. The airport lies at an elevation of 399 feet or 122 meters and sits within the GMT UTC plus 2 hours time zone. Now Moldova, like much of Europe, does indeed observe daylight saving time or DST, which currently has ended, and so the airport is still 2 hours ahead of the UK. So runway 2608, both ends, we're looking at it now, and you can see it's concrete construction here. Features high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airfield lighting system version 2, high intensity airfield lighting system, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting, and precision approach path indicators on the left side of both ends. Now the high intensity airfield lighting system version 2 is on runway 08, the other end, and the standard high intensity airfield lighting system is at this end. The touchdown zone lighting, according to the charts, is at the other end only on runway 08. As you can see, there's no touchdown zone lighting here. Here's the centerline lighting, the PAPIs are correct. We do have runway end identifier lighting, and the approach light system again is as per the charts. So let's have a quick look at the other end, runway 08. So here we are looking at the other end, runway 08, and as I said, you can see the touchdown zone lighting, which is on this end of the runway. So all of this is correct essentially, and again the PAPIs on the left. You have these turning circles, and again the approach lighting system is as per the chart. It does differ slightly from the other end. Now this is the main operational runway. Runway 0927, which we'll look at next, is mostly closed, used as a taxiway, and is only brought into operation if this main runway 2608 is closed or can't be used for some reason. So while we're here, let's look at runway 0927. So here we are looking at runway 0927, which you can see has got the X there, marking the effect that it's essentially closed. It's used as a taxiway, but it is used if this main runway is not in use. So according to the charts, this runway features high intensity runway lighting, high airfield lighting system, and precision approach path indicators on the left side, and that's at both ends. Now we have the PAPIs on the left. You don't see much in the way of lighting, so the high intensity runway lighting is missing. And also again on the charts there are approach lead-in lights, but again on this end, and this is runway 09 end, you can't see them, so they're missing. So essentially we've got the PAPIs and nothing else, although we've got runway and identifier lights. So in the scenery the approach lighting system is missing, and the runway lighting itself is missing as well. Let's check out the other end, runway 27. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 27, and once again we have the PAPIs correct, but we don't seem to have any airfield lighting, we don't seem to have any runway lighting, and again we don't have any lead-in lights which are on the chart. Let's just drop the light down a little bit darker and see if anything comes up. So as you can see, we've dropped the lighting down. You have blue airfield edge lights, which you have pretty much everywhere, but you can see the difference. There's no high intensity runway lighting on this runway, whereas there is on the main runway. So that's missing from this runway, but it's on the charts. and again approach lighting is missing from both ends, but apart from that, you know, it's okay really. So that does it for runways. There are no jetways at this airport, so let's get down to the airport itself and have a good look during the daytime. So we're going to start at the very eastern end of the airfield at low level. I just wanted to show you the terrain approach to runway 26. Here you can see the terrain drops off quite a bit before you approach the runway. And here you get a good example of just what it looks like. So you've got this little dip in the terrain, almost like the airfield is on a ledge when you approach runway 26. But let's start the tour from this end of the airfield and head towards the airport itself. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of work done on the outlying area of part of the airfield. A little bit of photo scenery here and there, but actually not very much, and most of it works reasonably well. Here you've got some of these old Russian jets and the hangar there, which seems to be still under construction. There's car park, various taxiways, and the modelling is a good quality. There's my aircraft parked on one of the stands, stand 11 I believe. Control tower there to the right. And I'm just doing this so you guys get a flavour of what this airport looks like. Again, we have more old Russian aircraft out here. And here at the very north end, sorry, at the very sort of western end of the field, you've got the cargo apron. And it looks pretty nice. There's the fuel farm. Some fuel trucks there. And as we look to the sort of land side, you can see various little developments here. Some of it default and some of it's been added. But it all looks typically sort of old Russian type of buildings. But it looks pretty interesting. Let's stop and look at the tower while we're here. So there's the tower. It's beautifully modelled and weathered as well, and it would appear there's internal development. You also see the flags down there animated down at the lower side there. Let's go into the tower. So here we are inside the control tower. Nice, fully modelled, 3 controllers, screens there. I mean, that's really all you want. It's nice. It's probably going to look quite nice in the darkness houses as well. So here's the landside area, car parks. Terminal looks pretty good. And here's that car park we looked at. And here's the hangar, and you've got some old aircraft, some of which are broken up. And it looks quite impressive, really. Basic modelling, not an awful lot to shout about, but the buildings and everything are weathered and they're there. And from what I can see in the research, they're correct. So here, looking closely at the terminal, you can see we've got some engineers sitting around. And you've also got vehicles as typically associated with this airport as well. Ground handling equipment is all pretty impressive. So this is the airside ramp. And there, looking through the windows, you can see people inside the airside part of the terminal, as well as the engineers. I mean, this is good. I mean, that looks really nice. We will obviously have a look inside. Animated flags. The buses look really good, to be honest. They're very nicely done. And again, on these buildings, a bit more basic, but again, the weathering that makes them look a bit more real. Wonderful tree line here. It's been nicely reproduced. And again, we've got a couple of engineers sitting out there on the ramp, discussing sort of this and that. And the ground markings, as you can see, are excellent. There's some more vehicles here. You've got airside operation vehicles down there below us, the red and white ones. And again, you've got some engineers talking away down there. Fire tender there to the left. Some more catering trucks. It looks nice, doesn't it? Look up close and in detail, it looks really nice. There's a container down there that's been really weathered. And the ramp clutter, I mean, this befits the type of airport it is in the country that it's in. And the models are really good. Generally, they're really impressive. So just skirting back in the other direction again on the airside ramp. Here you can see the ramp signage on the ground looks really good. The concrete texture is excellent. And I do like the fact that you've got the odd few engineers. Okay, they're repetitive, but you've got a few odd engineers sitting there on the airside ramp just to give it some life. This, I believe, is the fire station. Again, nicely modelled, no complaints there. So a linked taxiway that takes us out to the main runway. Let's just look at the signage very quickly. Yep, there you can see the signs. Okay, now there are WIGWAGS. We'll come back to these and have a look in the low light and check that they work. And there you've got a couple of signs donating runway length, available length for use, which is good. And from what I can see, there's a slope here. So it'll be interesting to, you guys are going to have to control your thrust. And for those of you exiting the runway, here you can see signs that denote the taxiway so you know what you're on. And again, you've got blue airfield edge lights. So runway 2709 here, which is a taxiway used most of the time. There you can see. The ambience of this place is quite nice. I love the way the trees are planted and placed. There you've got an old hangar with old Russian aircraft sitting about. It's nice, it's pretty good. So here's the main ramp. Just a quick shot across the ramp there. You can see the parking areas are clearly marked along with the turning angles here. Here's the little road, and yeah, you know, this is fine, no problem at all. Let's get a close-up look at the terminal. So we've got this end at the far eastern end of the terminal, which is modelled, but doesn't look like we've got any people anywhere. Let's just see if we can pop inside. Well, I might be wrong. I can see through the doors there. There is something inside. And there we are, internal development, fairly basic, as has been said in the features list. This obviously is the arrivals end. There you've got the baggage reclaim area. And it all looks pretty nice, pretty simplified, but it looks great. So here's a view of what sort of appears to be the main terminal. Great signage on the top there. There you've got an operations vehicle down there with a couple of guys chatting away, and you can see development here airside in here, and I think we can see some people. Let's go and have a look. So here you've got sort of part of the airside lounge there with people. There's a closer look. Some nice models, people sat down. And the same is true further inside there. And here's a view from the other end of this area here. And from this view you get an idea of what it looks like airside. You've got check-in desks down here on the lower level, various signage, all pretty clear. You know, it all looks really good. I mean, they say basic in terminal interior, but this is much more developed than I expected it to be, so kudos for that. So a quick shot looking across the upper level here, and this looks like a sort of a bit of a restaurant area. Looks nice, it really does. And yeah, there you can see. So here we're going sort of further west in the airside part of the terminal. The different gates there, departures, lots of people, duty free. I mean, this looks really good. It's quite impressive, to be honest. It's a pity that the aircraft parking stands aren't right up close to the terminal, because you get a lovely view from a flight deck. So there's another view, again more gates, clocks there, and you've got a view on the upper level there. Looks like a restaurant. This is lovely, it's very nice, looking good airside. And that, I think, says it all. I mean, that's a nice sort of ambient scene. Plenty of people, duty free, pretty much everything modelled, a little bit of foliage, the Best of Moldova sign over there. I mean, that looks great. So then we have this building further west, next door to the control tower. Don't expect to be anything inside here, but we'll have a look anyway. Okay, so no internal development here. So looking at this building, what we do have, you can see through the windows, we've got parallaxing. It'd be nice to see the effect at night time. So let's do a landside tour of that terminal area, see what we've got here landside. Looking nice, various car models parked in their spaces. The building looks nice, it's been very nicely modelled. Got a tour bus there. Looks like a police vehicle. Hoping we might see some people out here. Be a big contrast if we don't, because we've got people in the terminal. It looks great. That's quite a steep incline. Interesting to see how people drive up there. So plenty of buses, taxis. So we've got people inside the terminal there, but nobody outside. Vehicles and taxis here, but nobody outside that have, say, just stepped out of them. But clearly we can see inside the terminal. Looks lovely. Signage looks good too. I love the trees. I mean, the fauna here is excellent. So here's the multi-story car park, and there you can see, I mean, those inclines look to be really steep. I wonder if they're accurate as per the real world. I mean, the car park looks excellent. All of the cars are good. They're parked in the right spots. Okay, so that ramp doesn't look quite so bad. Once again, the trees look great, but this is pretty steep. And it's an up ramp, and you've got to stop at the top as well. God, I wonder how many accidents they get with cars rolling back. So here we're coming towards the entrance. Again, 3D roads, properly done. Okay, a little bit of foliage here like leaking onto the road, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's a really good aircraft model. I think it's an old Illusion, I believe. Now we're coming to the edge of the scenery, but you still have a little bit of work out here. So we've left the photo scenery roads, and that is nice. No cars, but no, that's fine. That looks really nice. Nice little bit of modelling, a mini market over there, and again it looks like we've got parallaxing, so this should be this should look a little bit more real in the darkness hours too. So very nice model of this aircraft sitting on a plinth outside the airport there. And there you can even read the sign. Yes, it's a TUPELOV, it's not it's a TUPELOV 134, and there you've got the signage written, I believe, in Russian and in Moldovan. That's a nice model, and that's actually quite a nice view. VIP area to the right there, so let's go into the terminal now and have a look inside. So we'll start with this end and go into the landside area here. And there you've got a nice seating lounge and what looks like a little cafe there. Here on the upper level. And here on the other side of that wall, another big cafe. And here we are again on the upper level land side, a little bit further into the terminal, and you can see, you know, lots of people, lots of ambience. It all looks pretty good, and you can even see into airside through the windows there. And continuing further into the terminal land side here, you can see, I mean, this looks good. It's very nice. Plenty of people. This is a bit more than basic. I'm quite impressed with this. And again, look, as we go right up to the signage close, it's perfectly readable. I mean, this is nice. This is very nice. This is good modelling, good texturing, good attention to detail. Everything's in high resolution. I mean, it's great. It's just really nice. Even those signs on the glass are readable. It's just very nice indeed. Really is. Now that's interesting. You've got a luggage thing there. So you can sort of slide it down, or while you're coming down the stairs, which makes it easier to carry. I think that's interesting. So just a quick look outside. Here's a couple of taxis and the signage. Again, all high resolution, all eminently readable. That's just great. It is just very, very nice. So this is the arrivals end of the building. Oh, it looks great. Look, you've got the weather there. That's a great big sort of placard there. It looks brilliant. And here you've got taxi stands, car hire, and a few people about. And that looks pretty good. Okay, it's starting to sort of bend a bit now to distort, because we're up close, but it still looks pretty good. And I think the only thing missing is the attendants behind the desks, and this happens in a lot of sceneries where they do the internal things but they kind of forget about things like this where they should have an attendant. But you know, I'm not complaining. It said, you know, it says basic terminal interior. We've got a lot more than basic here. It's really impressive. Okay, so that was a quick tour, airside and landside of the main terminal complex and a few other bits and pieces. Let's drop the light down to dusk now and see what the lighting is like. So first of all, just a quick look at the buildings at sunset. I started to turn the light down and I saw this. I mean, it's lovely. That is a really nice view. You see the sunset on the buildings there. So now let's go to full dusk. So here we are, 10 to 6 in the evening local time. It's the end of February 2024, And you can see some very nice subtle lighting here out on the airside ramp. Can't see any sober globes. It looks pretty impressive, to tell you the truth. Looking out towards the runways there, you can see the difference. We've got the main runway 2608, which is lit, and this runway used as a taxiway, which is not lit. Looking at this now, I mean 99% of the time this is used as a taxiway and is never really used as a runway unless this is closed. And the only reason I can think of this being closed is if they have a problem where there's an aircraft stuck or there's maintenance and this would be brought into use. So you could say to the developers here, you could forgive MXI Design for actually not lighting up this runway in the way that the chart says it should be. So I mean, that's pretty cool. I can deal with that. And you've got some basic lighting down there by the old hangar. So just a slow tour across this part of the ramp here. So the lighting is basic, but it's okay. It's I don't think you'll have much of a problem here. The lighting is quite subtle, and it does look a bit dark. It'll be interesting to see how it comes up at night. But it all looks pretty good. So there you can see some lighting in the control tower. And now you get a really good view internally there of the terminal airside, which looks pretty good, and the sign on the top. It's lovely, it's very nice. And even this part of the building that we thought wasn't developed, the arrivals area, is nicely lit inside. Again, you've got this car park here and some lighting down here, and yeah, no asobo globes, all properly lit by the proper light sources. It's very nice. So as we come landside here, just do a little tour, have a look at what we can see. I mean, it's a lovely view into the building there. Just the right amount of lighting. And again, the same is true here. And you've got lighting inside the car park too. It's great. Very nice. And here's the road leading out of the airport, and there you've got the aircraft on the approach road. And again, all the lights work. Just got a little bit of foliage encroaching into the road there, but really it's not an issue. And yeah, very nice. So there's the control tower from outside, and here we are inside. A couple of screens here, and MXI Design properly sort of advertising themselves here. Well done, guys. But as you can see from this shot here, I mean, the airport is beautifully lit. It looks very, very nice. It's great to be able to see inside the terminal. The terminal, you know, I have to say, is far more than basic development, and it looks very impressive. It's very, very nice. And you can see the animated flags there too, which is good. And it looks great. I mean, there's an ambience about the place that's just really nice. So here's the cargo area, which we haven't really looked at yet. I thought I'd wait to get the lights down and have a look. It's pretty basic. There's not an awful lot of lighting here. And there you go, just a close-up look at the stands here of the cargo area at dusk. And this is nice. Here we are. The signage going on to the main runway 0826. The signage is lit, and you've got the WIGWAGs which are working. Okay, so let's turn the light down to night time. Okay, 10 PM local time, and as you can see, the lighting has really come up considerably. Actually, much more than what we saw at dusk. Arguably, you've got much more lighting over the whole ramp area at night time than you do at dusk. Don't know if that's by design, but yeah, you know, this looks great from here. So now here at night time you've got the runway 0927, which is used as the taxiway, and you've got green centerline lights, which we didn't see at dusk, so that's really good. And again, looking in the other direction, as you can see, the lighting has come up significantly, and it also appears to have come up quite a lot at the cargo area too, which was pretty dark at dusk. So there's the fire station, which looks quite nice. And the crazy thing is, I don't know if this is just a bug or something they've forgotten. There you've got green centerline lights that go along this runway that acts as a taxiway, leading towards the runway 26 threshold. And looking in the other direction, you've got none. So I'm wondering if maybe they just forgot to put them in, I don't know. So a couple of close-up shots of the ramp here at night time, and you can see it looks great. It really does look impressive. Nice to see a couple of moving vehicles and quite a few static vehicles with lights on front and back, which is good. So here you can see some of the departure gates, people inside, and this is one of the buses that would take you out to your aircraft and set you on board, as it were. And here you've got a little bit of evidence of parallaxing, nothing fancy, but enough to give the building some kind of light. And again, the same has been done here. Again, nothing fancy, fairly basic, but it again gives the building some sort of light. And quickly whiz over this part of the ramp. As you can see, the whole ramp area is significantly lit up now. It's much more brighter than it was even at dusk. And here we head out to the cargo apron. Here's our DHL 767 sitting there, and you can see now the ramp looks a lot brighter. Okay, it's not complete, but it looks a lot brighter. Okay, here's a view from the flight deck. It's night time. Just thought I'd show you this. We're facing the wrong way, but well, we know we're facing the correct way in terms of the stand, but we're facing away from the terminal, so you can't see anything else. But this is the view you get. Just thought I'd show you. View from the captain's side, and a view from the first officer's window. Okay, so that was night time. Let's bring the dawn up. Okay, 5 to 7 in the morning, and there you can see the red glow on the buildings once again as the sun comes up behind us. I think the lights went out about 6 minutes ago. And looking out across the runways and taxiways, a nice view of the moon there in the distance. And there's the sun coming up in the east. Very nice indeed. Okay, so it's an hour later, 10 to 8 in the morning. Time to wrap up this review and give you my thoughts. Do I like it? Yes, I do. To be honest, it's more than I expected. When you look at the list of features, it says accurately modelled terminal and airport buildings, basic terminal interior model for depth. Well, there's a bit more than basic. I'm actually quite impressed with what they've done inside. There's a whole ambience and atmosphere inside the terminal. Okay, the people are static, but the terminal's been populated and it looks really good. And both airside and landside looks really ambient. There's an atmosphere there that you know, just brings it to life a lot more. And all of the things that I really like, that I think you can take advantage of now with this type of simulation. You've got people, you've got vehicles, beautifully designed buildings, weathered and textured, a control tower that's populated. You know, it's great. And landside you've got that great TU-134 sitting there, and everything done to such a high standard, so much so that you can actually read what's written on the plaque in front of that TUPELOV landside there. And when you go outside, you've even got this little petrol station, again with the signage all such high resolution you can read it. It's great. It really is impressive. It's much more than I expected. And you look at these prices. I mean, what, €13, just over $14 plus tax. And if you add the tax, it's still a really, really competitive price. You know, they've done a lot more here than I expected from this scenery. All of which makes me want to fly in here. It's really nicely modelled. This is right up there with some of the best little airports that I've seen. Fits into the terrain nicely. It's been modelled into fitting into the local terrain very well. Many things here that are typically former Russian. Not only the aircraft lying around, but the buildings here. They're all typically from that sort of era. It's just great. It really is impressive. I like it a lot. And I'm very happy to have had the chance to review it. Again, I bought this, I wasn't sent it. It's a lovely airport, and yeah, I've nothing but good things to say about it. I really haven't got any criticism. If I'm honest, it would be nice to see a couple of people populating the landside road. You've got a shed load of taxis and a couple of buses there, and you can see the people in the terminal when we did the little tour. But there are no people stood outside that maybe have just arrived at the airport. But you've also got engineers standing around airside as well. Okay, they're repetitive in various places, but they're there. For me, the next step would be to see a couple of airline staff at the check-in desks and a couple of airline staff at the doorways here, maybe sending people onto the buses. But I'm grasping at straws here. What you've got is a really nice airport at an extremely competitive price for the work that's been done. And yeah, I want to fly in here. It's great. It's a lovely airport. Thoroughly recommended. So there you are. It's Chisinau International Airport in Moldova, Lima Uniform Kilo Kilo. It's a payware scenery by MXI DESIGN. This is version 1, the release version for Flight Sim 2020. Downloads at 2.71 gigs and installs at 5.25 gig. Now, looking at the work that's been done here, you can see why the file size is quite large for what is effectively a single airport. It's currently available from Orbix, and you can get it for €12.95 or $14.06 US or £11.08 UK. As I said, those prices are estimates taken from the Australian dollar, and you'll need to add tax or VAT depending on which country you're in when you make your purchase. But even with the added tax, I mean, this is getting close. It really is getting close to a bit of a steal. There's a lot of work that's been done here to make this look as good as it has. I'm really impressed with it, to be honest. It's a very, very nice product, and the price is extremely competitive. So there you are, folks. Just wrapped up this review. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up yet another scenery review. I'm constantly marveling at what can be achieved in this simulator by developers such as MXI Design and InnyBuilds. I mean, we really are spoilt for choice, and this scenery is no exception. It's wonderful. So thanks for joining me. I know at least one person who's been waiting for this review, and I hope your questions are answered, sir. And yeah, I think it's fantastic. Thanks for watching the video. If you like what I do, please like and subscribe, and if you fancy buying me a coffee, that would really help. I mean, it's quite cheap. I'm a one-man band, and as I've said before, sort of 40-50% of the sceneries I purchase for the reviews. And yeah, looking forward to next week's reviews as well. So guys, happy flying, be safe, get out there. Those of you who got the Phoenix, enjoy the new version 2 update. I'm yet to have a look at that, but I want to get it, and I'm hoping to get some help with configuring my controls to be able to take advantage of that. So chaps, have a good weekend, and thank you again for watching and for joining me. Happy to talk to you in the comments, and yeah, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.